The iPhone 4S was released back in October of 2011, but how does it hold up in 2019? The iPhone 4S was released in the Steve Jobs era of Apple. It had an Apple A5 CPU, which was underclocked from 1 GHz to only run at 800 MHz. It also had 512 MB of RAM and a 1430 mAh battery, which is nothing compared to today's phones. It also had an 8 megapixel camera, which at the time gave us really good photos. However, now it's mediocre compared to other phones. And the front camera was a mere 0.3 megapixels, which Apple at the time called it VGA quality camera, which is definitely what it is, as it is horrible and grainy by today's standards. This phone came in the storage variants 8, 16, 32 and 64GB, which is also low compared to today's phones, as most people need at least 64GB or 32GB at a push. The usability of the phone is also not good. As you can see, if you've just turned the phone on or just picked it up from not using it for a few hours, it is very laggy and might not respond to your touch at first. This also carries on to the home screen. However, the phone seems to smoothen out and get faster as it's used, or in other terms, has to be given time to warm up on some occasions. App support is also dwindling for this phone now in 2019, as it is on iOS 9.3.6, which is the last version for this phone. This means that most applications have stopped or dropped support for the phone now, and that's even from large main developers. An example of this is YouTube, as this cannot be fully updated to the latest version. However, the phone struggles to run the latest version of YouTube it supports. As you can see, the phone is very laggy on YouTube and begins to heat up drastically after only 5 minutes of video playback, so it could be used as a hand warmer in effect. Even Apple's own apps don't run properly on this phone. Apple Music, for example, is very slow and even on some occasions gives up loading content. It also has the same problem with heating up. The days of this phone's usability are definitely beginning to fade away, especially with the fact that it only supports 3G data, which has been out of date for some time now. I find this sad really, as when this phone was brought out it was considered to be revolutionary, and I remember a lot of hype around this phone due to having the first phone to have Siri, so a lot of people bought it for that, as it seemed very futuristic at the time. Not just in terms of the voice assistant, but the entire design was ahead of its time, with the glass front and back as well as the aluminium band around the phone. And this has gone on to, the future designs within the new iPhones as well. All this means that the phone has aged very well in design terms, but in usability terms it has not. The main reason that this phone is unusable is because it should have been left on iOS 8, and the 4S was not much faster than the iPhone 4, and I would go far to say that the iPhone 4 is far more usable than the 4S in 2019, just as a phone for text and calls. This was my iPhone 4S, which I had 2 years after the release date, and it served me well, but I have not used this phone for some time now because of having 3 different iPhones since. This iPhone wear level is also at 51%, so it will need to have a battery replacement soon, so I might make a video on that. As you can see, I have to use a third party app to find out the battery health, but as you can see it definitely needs a new battery. So should you buy the iPhone 4S in 2019? I would definitely say no from this, as it is basically unusable for anything you'd normally do with a smartphone, and for not much more you can get a phone which works a lot better. Anyway guys, if you like this video, remember to leave a like. If you enjoyed this content, consider subscribing for more content just like this, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any upload, which we upload every Friday at 5 PM UK time. Anyway guys, till the next one.